Hey folks, welcome back to Good Things for Good People, the little tiny YouTube channel with great big dreams that change the world for good, one view and one viewer at a time. Today you join me at Woody's. It's an excellent place to get wings. Well, it used to be, as of like 2 months ago, and now it's a hole in the ground and a pile of rubble. Today you join me at what used to be Woody's for me to illustrate some important points about what restaurants and what YouTube channels have in common. And that may not make a lot of sense to any of you, but I have 5 things that I want to talk about to compare what used to be a nice restaurant and a nice building that is now a crater, and what makes a lot of YouTube channels fail. Probably not something most people would ever think of comparing and contrasting, but in my mind it makes sense, and I'm going to talk about it. If you've never been here before, thank you very much for clicking on this video. This is Good Things for Good People. We are a little tiny YouTube channel that is trying to grow and improve in the YouTube philanthropy space. If you're asking yourself, what in the world is YouTube philanthropy? Well, so is everybody else. This is not really a thing. Nobody really has ever done this before. Nobody's really ever, as far as I know, tried this before, and certainly not been successful at this, other than Mr. Beast, because he has Mr. Beast channel and Mr. Beast Gaming. And then he also spun it off and did Mr. Beast Philanthropy. So the idea here is we're going to use the views from this video and from all of the videos on this channel and the watch time from all of these videos on this channel to generate revenue, to be able to positively affect change, do random acts of kindness, good deeds for good people, right? That's the whole idea. YouTube gives us the tools to be able to generate revenue. From you watching this video, you being here now, immediately is already going to be able to create revenue once this channel is monetized. We can then turn that revenue around every single month into doing good things for good people. It's as simple as that. No donations required, no donations even appreciated or asked for. Do not send me anything. We're doing this purely through online activism, I guess would be a way to put this. Online activism, maybe that's what I need to call this. But the idea is pretty simple. Just come, hang out, watch a video, spend some time here. We're going to generate revenue, and we're going to do good stuff with that revenue. That's it. That's all there is to it. So if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. I appreciate it. Thanks for not becoming a zombie. If this is your first video, welcome aboard. So I told you I wanted to bring up 5 things. First thing, number 1, barflies. Barflies are great. Those are your regulars. Those are the guys that are sitting around the bar Monday through Friday that work in that office building or that office building or that office building over there, or live in those apartments over there or those apartments over there, or work in that office building. People that are in the area, that are here all of the time, that you can count on day in and day out for showing up to your restaurant. You know, they come in for wings every day. They come in for a burger every day. They come in for a drink every day. They are the guys that are here all of the time. Those people are great. Those are your core business customers that you need to make sure that you take care of. And you appreciate them, and you encourage them to come back, and you make sure that you understand them. You subscribers who are here all the time, who are commenting, who are liking this video, all of you who are here that are showing that constant support, you are those barflies, and I love you to death. I'm glad to have you, and it's great because we can have ongoing conversations with you. However, the problem with that is if your business almost is entirely barflies, you're going to have a problem because you need to be expanding that business. Man, they are making a lot of noise. Who would have known tearing down a building and poking a hole in the ground would make so much noise? You need to have more than just barflies, right? You need to have newcomers, new barflies maybe. You need to have folks that come in that are in that hotel over there, that are just randomly driving by in the area. You need to be able to expand your customer base. And that's really what right now is with the YouTube side of things, is trying to expand that customer base. We have a good group of barflies. We've already crossed 520 subscribers, which is fantastic. Those folks are the core group so far. However, as you'll see, if you look at the analytics of these videos over the last couple of days, it's not getting all of those folks engaged, right? We have 520 subscribers. How many of them are currently always here? Not a lot. So we have some barflies. We have some folks that are the regulars, and I love you to death, and I'm glad you're here. But we've got to keep on growing the brand. We got to keep on growing the customer base. Woody's, unfortunately, didn't really have a great job at that. They didn't really reach out to much of anything in the community. They didn't really have anything that was a major pull. They didn't have something that was unique that brought people here. It was just another place that had pretty good wings and pretty good cheeseburgers and a pretty cool place. But unfortunately, there's another restaurant literally right next to it that's not a hole in the ground, that does the same thing, but is much better at community outreach, is much better at growing people and bringing people in. Pastimes is the name of that place, and it's still in business. So that's topic number one. Topic number two, occasional visitors, occasional subscribers, right? So to reference this back to the world of restauranting, these are the folks that come in on Cheap Wings Day. These are the customers that are only there when they have a coupon. These are the customers when it's something that you're going to basically be losing money on or barely breaking even on just to get them in the door, right? And there is something to that. You do want to do promotional type stuff. You do want to do things that are gotchas, you know, that grab somebody and bring them in. The problem is, if you don't do something with that person when they come in, the only time they're going to come in is on Cheap Wings Day. We were always here on a Cheap Wings Day, and we set up a thing with a Cheap Wings thing. So we would do buy one, get one wings. Well, I don't know what their profit margin is on wings, but it's probably not super good when you got a group of guys coming in and they only come in for something you maybe make $1 or $2 on the whole transaction with that person. How do you pay for the building and the upkeep and the utilities and the wages, you know? Look, I'm not saying that that's what it is, but maybe that's what it is. YouTubers have the same problem. We have the same thing. You can get a subscriber. You can get a subscriber to subscribe. If you randomly get somebody that stops by and they subscribe to your channel, great, fantastic, I'm glad they're here. Now the question is, what can you do to maintain that person and to keep that person coming in other than just randomly occasionally? Or do they go into zombie status? Which is a big problem on channels because you end up with a bunch of subscribers and a really low interaction score, a really low favorability rating, because if only 10%, 5%, 15% of your subscriber base is viewing things on a regular basis, YouTube will not help you grow. It will not push your content out there if it sees that your subscriber base, that your base customers are not really paying attention. And you've got to be very, very careful about this. You've also got to be able to add value to people to make people come back. What is it that's going to make me come back on Full Price Friday, right? What is it that's going to make me come back to this channel, not just when you have something that goes viral or mini viral or something crazy or terrible or wonderful happens? What's going to make me come back and believe in this business and spend my time here? Because you truly are donating your time and giving me your time to watch these videos. So as a YouTuber, that's something I personally have to make sure that I pay attention to, is what am I doing that keeps you guys informed and engaged and makes a value-added version of why you would be here on Full Price Friday, and not just, hey, let's celebrate, I got 500 viewers or 600 viewers or 700 viewers or 1,000 subscribers. Now, 1,000 subscribers, that'll be a big video, and we'll talk about that. But the other stuff, what are you going to do? What is it I can do? Now, with Good Things for Good People, I think we've got a lot of folks that understand that there's definitely a value-added thing here, because we are trying to generate revenue off of this video and off of all of these videos to actually make a positive impact on the world. We can generate revenue off of this, and every minute you spend here, every single person you send these things to that clicks on this video and comes over to this and spends time here is one more step closer that we together as a team are to doing positive things and really making a major difference in the world. So I think I am doing a pretty decent job of that, but I know a lot of other YouTubers who don't. And it gets to that point where you've got to ask yourself, what is it that you're doing on Thursday and Full Price Friday that's inviting customers back, that's inviting your viewerships back, and that's engaging your viewership that they don't get on Half Price Tuesday? Know what I mean? I don't know. I hope that makes sense. And I hope that the amount of noise that is going on behind me is not being too terribly distracting, but I do love the comparison. I think a lot of folks get very, very frustrated with the YouTube side of things. If you've ever gotten started in YouTube, it's frustrating, and I'm sure it is the same thing in business. If you started a business and you think you've got a great idea, but you know, it ends up a gigantic hole in the ground. So, by the way, if you haven't made it to that subscribe button yet, and you've made it this far in the video, please do click on that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. Drop a comment in the comment section below if you like me standing out here freezing my tail off in the drizzly Ohio fall, winter, whatever season this is, to get this video filmed. All right, so topic number 3 of this is curb appeal. Let me see how I wrote this up. Location, branding, and curb appeal. All right, you can't really tell this, but right there is a main road. That's East Campus View. Pretty busy road. There are all sorts of businesses around here. Office building, office building, office building, office building, hotel, 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 more office buildings, apartments, 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 tons in this area. 270, which is the interstate that goes around Columbus, is half a mile that way. It's literally on the other side of those apartment buildings, okay? Location, location, location. This place has a fantastic location, you would think. However, and this kind of goes back to an earlier point about what is it that makes you special? What is it that makes you bring people in? When you drive down this road, there are a number of different places that you can find that you can get a cheeseburger and wings and a Diet Coke or an iced tea, French fries. What is it that makes Woody's different? Other than the fact that it's now a gigantic hole in the ground. What is it that makes people want to come to your place and not stop at Pastimes? Or go to Bob Evans? Or anywhere else? Especially in the restaurant world, this is an incredibly important thing. You've got to focus on your product and your appeal, your outreach. What is it that brings people into your thing? Whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a business, whether it's a YouTube channel, that is all part of the same process. It's all part of the same thing. What is it with your YouTube channel that brings people in to your YouTube channel? Is it the personality that drives the page? Yeah, it's possible. That's very possible. You know, if you've ever been to an Italian restaurant that's a family Italian restaurant, or a family restaurant in general, let me broaden that and say to a family restaurant in general. Folks, you've seen me a couple of times at a diner near my house. It is owned by a Greek family that's been owned by that Greek family since they came here from Greece. Every single day I am at that restaurant. The father or the son is in that restaurant. Every single day I am in that restaurant. They will come up to me and shake my hand. Say, hey, good to see you. How you doing? Every single day you get personal appreciation. You get somebody that says, hey, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for supporting the business. Thanks for keeping us open. That is unbelievably valuable. Now, when you're a chain restaurant, and this, I believe, was technically a small chain restaurant, some of that is lost. You kind of lose that. And I want to spin this just a corner as well into the automotive world. A long time ago, I actually ran some automotive stores, automotive parts stores. And like a McDonald's, the idea is with those guys, with corporate stores, we want to have a uniformity across all the stores, across all the experiences. We want our customers to walk into every single store and get the same good quality service that they would get over there and at that one and that one down the street and the one across the city and the one on the other side of the state and the one in Russia. Well, maybe Russia's a bad idea, but the one in France, right? McDonald's everywhere is McDonald's. Okay, if your thing is cheap, crappy cheeseburgers and you want them to be cheap and crappy across the board, but they're reliably cheap and crappy, they're not going to give you a stomach bug. Okay, I guess. That's not my thing. That's not me. I want to be better than everybody else. I want to be different. I want to provide a unique experience. I want to provide a better experience in my store, even though my store is just like everybody else's store. I want to be better. I want to be that place where, like, man, people, that was such a great place. Same thing in the restaurant business. Is my food going to be way, way better? No, because I can't cook. But my personalized service, my willingness to come up to you and say, hey, thanks for being here. I appreciate you coming out. How are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. That's what keeps people coming back. I hope that's part of what's people coming back here is because they know that I truly appreciate them. Everybody that's in the comment sections, you will see, I respond back to those comments. I try to respond back to absolutely everybody on every single thing because I truly appreciate you. Without your customer base, without your viewership subscriber base, you are nothing. You are going to accomplish nothing. You could make the greatest video in the history of YouTube. If nobody watches it, it doesn't matter. We could make the crappiest videos out there. I could shoot this on my phone, in the rain, on a terrible day with construction equipment behind me. But if this video does really well, it can make a huge difference. Capiche? Make sense? All right. So, next thing I want to talk about. Number 4. And I need to wrap this up because my hands are starting to go numb and I'm getting rained on and I don't like it. Costs. Let's talk about costs. Restaurants are notoriously terrible about not being profitable for a long time. When you launch a restaurant, you had better plan on losing money, or at least not making money, for a long time. It goes across a lot of businesses, not just restaurants. But you need to have that capital prepared to be sunk because you cannot count on customers to just show up. You cannot just start a pizza restaurant, you call yourself best pizza in town, and expect 10,000 people to buy your pizza in the next month and pay your bills. You can't expect it. You could send out coupons, you could do radio blitzes, you could invite a friendly bearded fat guy to your restaurant that has a YouTube channel and loves eating pizza. There's no guarantee that you're going to have a revenue stream that's going to pay your bills. None. Might. You may get lucky. You may be one of those very few that just hits it and gets running with it. Maybe. But if you don't, you end up with a hole in the wall. That's it. You end up with a hole in the ground. There's no walls. You end up with guys tearing your building down. Right? Same thing with YouTube. When you get started with YouTube, there are costs. There's maybe not even necessarily a lot of costs, definitely not compared to starting a brick and mortar business, but there are costs. There is editing software. There's a camera or microphones if you're not shooting it with a phone. There's editing hardware like a laptop. Some people do all this stuff through their phones, and if that's the case for you, good for you. That's awesome. There are fuel costs. There are costs for buying software if you're doing software development, or lenses if you're doing camera reviews, or food items if you're buying, if you're doing restaurant reviews or travel stuff. Everybody has costs. There are costs involved. Aside from the costs, money-wise, there are costs time-wise. Your time is valuable. By the way, thank you for spending almost 20 minutes with me so far. I do appreciate your time. Your time is very valuable to me. But there are time costs, there are time constraints. Depending on how much you do on a video, depending on what your video is about, you could have anywhere from, you know, a 15-minute video, you might have an hour to 10 hours involved in it, 20 hours involved in it. If it's a gaming channel, how many hours did you spend filming gaming footage and editing? If you're a travel channel, good God, how much did it cost you to travel to wherever you're traveling and film everything you're doing and travel back and post your... There's a lot involved. There's a lot of spent cost involved in creating a business, whether that's a YouTube channel or whether that's a restaurante. There's a lot of that. And a lot of people go into it and they don't really realize how much they really need to worry about that. You know, I'm not saying that these guys ran out of money because they didn't have enough stashed away. I don't know what the case is whatsoever. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure the Woodies over on Hilliard Rome also went belly up, but I don't think they bulldozed the entire building. But it's a pretty eloquent point, I think, is you never know what your costs are going to be, so you better make sure you take care of it. Now, I think we're just under 50 days, or just under 60 days total since I launched this channel. And the entire time I've launched this channel, I've spent a little over $500 of my own money, like cash money, to make the videos that we've done on this video, on this channel, excuse me. A little over $500 of my own money. And I would say probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 hours or so, maybe a little bit more than that, in editing, content creation, and everything else. I've made not a dollar back. Not a dollar. So in the month, 2 months, we'll call it, let's call it 2 months. In the 2 months that I've had this channel, I have spent basically 4 work weeks for free. And I've lost $500. And that's okay. For me, that's okay, because I believe in this. I believe in this project. I believe in what we're trying to do here, and I think it's going to be something that can happen. I also happen to be able to run on very little sleep, so it's not a problem for me. I can do it. I can do it. We're only less than 60 days in this project, and I'm not burnt out yet, and I'm going to keep going. But it's a cost that you need to understand. There's a ton of YouTubers that are out there that get involved, and they've got great ideas, and they've got great product, and they've got a great location, and they've got a great personality, but they don't have the ability to create content. And if you don't create content, and if you're not interacting with your people, if you're not in the comment section, if you're not posting on the community tab, you're not going to grow. You're not going to prosper. And you need to be honest with yourself about the fact that it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of investment. Money, time, whatever. Time is money. I'm pretty sure I heard that once or twice before. And it's true. I can't tell you how many YouTube channels I know that make negative income, that spend, especially in the automotive world, because that's where I spend a lot of my time, that make no money. They spend hundreds of dollars a month or thousands of dollars a month building cars or working on stuff and buying parts and schlepping themselves from here to there to go racing and whatever. And they maybe make a couple of YouTube videos a month that maybe make a couple of tens of dollars, maybe $100 here or there. Most of them don't break even, especially the smaller channels. They don't break even. They just keep spending money and spending money and spending money and spending money and may not necessarily be able to create the content, and probably are not covering their costs. So it's a sunk cost thing. I don't want to harp on that too much more, but it's important that you guys understand that. If you're going to do this, if you're going to get involved, if it's a business, a brick and mortar, a mail order thing, an online store, whatever, it takes time. Make sure you have the time invested to be able to get your reward back. My reward for this is going to be the fact that we are going to change the world, and we're going to get things going in the right direction. People spending time here, you spending time here, and believing in this project, and wanting to see the world turn into a better place, purely by watching a video, is truly going to happen, because I'm willing to invest the time and the money, and you are willing to invest your time in being here and helping support it. You are the one that's going to be able to tell a friend or tell a family member, hey, go check this out, or share it on your Facebook page, or wherever, share it at work, whatever the case may be. That's what it needs. That's what we've got to do. And I'm willing to make that investment. And those of you who have made it this far, I think you guys are willing to make that investment also. All right, my fifth and final point that I want to talk about. Number 5, branding. Your niche and your market type. And I'm going to wrap this up reasonably quickly because I'm freezing. Oh, hands are turning red. And I'm also soaking wet. Branding. What is your branding? What is your image? What's your menu? What do you do here? Again, what differentiates your wings from those wings at Pastimes? What makes you different? What makes somebody want your particular brand? Even more, what makes somebody want wings? Okay, well, wings maybe, yeah, that's a pretty easy one. But let's say that you have decided your restaurant's all about collard greens or pea soup. Let's say you make the best pea soup in the state, which I don't know what that means, but I think pea soup makes sense. So you make the best pea soup in the state. Best pea soup in the Midwest. That's your branding. That's maybe even the name of your restaurant. It's called Perfect Pea Soup or Pretty Dang Good Pea Soup. Whatever. Build your branding. Locate your niche. Figure out what it is. But what you need to be honest about is how big is that niche? How big is that section of customers? Is it a ton of people? Is it like chicken wings, where everybody likes chicken wings? Or pizza? Everybody likes pizza. There are things that work for everybody, that are appealing to everyone. Is that your niche? In which case, how many people are also in that? You have multiple different places that are right down the road from you that do the same thing. What is it that differentiates your type of chicken wings from the next guy's chicken wings? Or is it a situation where you're the best pea soup restaurant in the city, but you're also the only pea soup restaurant in the city? You might be the only people that specialize in pea soup in the Midwest. But what's the size of the customer base for pea soup? You could dominate the pea soup industry, dominate it, but only have 1,000 customers and go out of business. Because if the customer base isn't big enough to support you and what you're trying to do and support your costs, it's not there. Now, this one is a little bit touchy for me because I don't know if this niche is big enough to support what I want it to do. I don't know. I don't know if there are enough people that are willing to spend time on this kind of thing, that are willing to donate their viewership to make this successful. I don't know. Because there's nobody I can look at across all of YouTube that says yes. I have nobody else I've seen that's done this. There are other channels, that I mentioned this yesterday, that do lots of shorts where they go up to a homeless guy and give him a challenge and then hand him $500. Or find somebody in Walmart and give them $500 because they seem like they were a nice person, or they answered a question right, or whatever. Those are different. That's not what we're trying to do here. Those people don't make long form content for the most part. They do shorts, and they do sponsored shorts. So they're getting money that's provided by some business to be able to give it away. And that's not what I want to do here. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make an entirely new thing. I'm trying to make an entirely new market. And I don't know if that's going to work. But I'm also in a situation where I'm able to take this risk personally to try to make it work. I'm willing to spend my own money, my own time, to see if I can make this work. I think there's a niche for this. I think my type of pea soup is more appealing to people than they may know themselves. I think there's a broader market for my pea soup than anybody else's pea soup. And I think more people are into pea soup than they even know. We just have to get them to sample it, and we just have to get them to be open to it. I know, it might seem a little weird to begin with, but just give it a try. Come and watch a video, spend some time, take a couple spoonfuls, and see if this kind of thing works for you. And that's the thing you've really got to believe in. That's what you've really got to do. And you've got to be honest. Is there a niche there? Is there somebody else that's already feeding it? If there is, what can you do different? What can you do better? What can you add your personal flair, your personal taste, your panache to? Dash of McCormick salt. Whatever it is that can make yours better and more unique, whether it's you, whether it's the way you present it, whether it's your editing style, whatever it is, figure out whatever it is and run with it. But you've also got to be honest about the fact that it may not necessarily work, even if you're doing great stuff. Even if you make the best pea soup out there, there may only be so many people that are into pea soup. And sometimes that's just the reality. Anyways, I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to talk about here. I hope the video is interesting, maybe a little educational, maybe a little bit entertaining. Hopefully you can hear me over all of this ruckus. If you're interested in supporting the project, if you've made it this far, thank you so much. I appreciate you. If you're interested in supporting the project here, please do subscribe. Please drop a comment in the comment section below. Click on the like button. Show some friends of yours this content. As we grow this community of people that are like-minded, it's just going to get built bigger and bigger and faster, and we're going to get success that much better. We're going to be able to make changes that much faster. We're going to be able to affect that many more people. We're going to win. It's just a matter of when. Thanks for being here, folks. I am getting in the car. Whew! Good Lord, it's cold out here. See you tomorrow.